I have the pleasure of talking with Kristin Mejia-Greene, who's the founder of Homeland Heart Birth and Wellness Collective. This Nashville nonprofit creates access to doula care for Black families in an effort to decrease maternal and infant mortality rates. She has spent the last 5 years of her life on a mission to increase Black breastfeeding rates and reduce the incidences of birth trauma and postpartum mood disorders in our community. The collective has been around for a little bit, and you've been doing amazing work in the community. So tell me this story. How did this come about?
Well, it's a pretty interesting story. There's a couple of different places that it starts. So I started the work that I do in the community as a breastfeeding peer counselor. And I actually rolled into that just because I had been breastfeeding my son for a long time. Mm-hmm. And so in the community, in my different Facebook mom groups or wherever have you, anytime someone would have a question about breastfeeding, my name would pop up. People would tag me. Like, it was just all these things. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I'm not qualified to be anyone's advice. I just breastfeed my kid and have been doing so. It's successful, like whatever. And I'm very open about breastfeeding my kid. Like my son, I credit him for like my entire career because I have taken him everywhere. I just kind of had this, like, this is what I want to do. Okay, now I have a baby. Maybe it'll be a little bit harder, but I mean, he's just a baby. He can come with me, right? Like, sure. It's just a meeting. It's just a this. It's just
he doesn't really have a lot of choice in the matter. Like,
he doesn't have a lot of choice, right? Also, it also helped me realize how little information is common knowledge when it comes to breastfeeding in our society. So and that leads into how unsupportive our society is of breastfeeding women. So part of me having to take my son everywhere I went was that he was breastfed, and a breastfed baby can't like be alone for longer than 2 to 3 hours. So, I kind of got into this, like, well, I guess he is going to need to go everywhere I need to go, because if I have to sit in this meeting or that meeting or this class, I'm going to be there for longer than the allotted amount of time. So I just, again, like, people were coming to me for advice, and I had this epiphany that if people were actually going to trust me and the advice that I gave, then I should probably become like more knowledgeable and get a certificate of some sort. And I became a certified lactation counselor.
Nice.
And then I created Express Yourself as a business. It started like as a movement.
See, that's how the entrepreneurial spirit gets you. Is like, you're just, this is cool, I'll do this on the side, until you're like, no, I need 4 businesses.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. But it came about, so Express Yourself came about because I wanted to go to a concert. I wanted to go to a festival when I was breastfeeding my son, and all the rules, right? You can't bring in a backpack. You can't bring this. You can't bring a cooler. You can't bring a this or that, whatever. My son was about to turn 1, and the festival was in Atlanta, and I refused to take him out into Atlanta September heat. Like, I was like, I'm not doing that. So I asked the festival if there was going to be some place where I could pump. Nobody knew what I was talking about. They were like, oh, you're going to have to ask the venue. I'm like, what do you mean ask the venue? Like, that doesn't really make any sense because it's your event. And so I told them, I was like, you know what? I'm bringing a backpack. Said backpack will have these things in them. I need a pump. I have to have a cooler with me so my milk doesn't expire. You guys don't allow passes in and out. You also say I can't have a backpack, but I already bought my ticket, and you say there's no refunds. So something is going to have to give here, or else I'm calling the news. Like, this is not going to work. Like, it's not fair that I have to sacrifice my fun because I decided to breastfeed and give my son the healthiest start in life. So now I have to sacrifice all of my fun. So that's the very next year, like, they let me in, we got over that hump. And then I spent the very next year, like the whole 365 days, creating Express Yourself Festival pumping suites.
Wow.
So
how cool.
I decided that no other woman should be forced with the decision of, okay, I breastfeed. Do I want to stay at home and make sure my baby is breastfed? Or do I want to go out and have a good time and waste my milk? And then my kid is either got to be on formula, or like, just the whole, I shouldn't have to think that hard about all this. So I created Express Yourself, and what it is just a private suite where moms could come in during a festival or concert, pump their milk. We had a refrigerator, store the milk there. They can go away and party and do whatever, and then just come back and pick the milk up when they're ready to go. And so, it was a way for me to encourage women, right? Express yourself, be who you are, express the things that make you you.